These are the plaintiffs, Dina Sanchez and James Centeno. Dina says she and her fiance James hired the defendant as their wedding planner, and the woman, quite frankly, ripped them off. She didn't provide them with a contract. Bottom line, they want their $610 back, and they're suing for it today. This is the defendant, Larisha Yamini. She says the plaintiff, Dina, called her in a panic, saying the wedding was off because her fiancé James no longer wanted to marry her. She already purchased some of the supplies for the wedding. The rude woman insulted her and her children. Now she's under no obligation to return a cent of their money because deposits are non-refundable. She's accused of causing wedding woes.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiffs hired the defendant as their wedding planner and says it was just a big scam. The woman didn't even live in their state, but the defendant says everything was fine until the bride called her telling her that she got into a fight with her man and the marriage was off. It's the case of Wedding Bell Blues.
Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay, Ms. Sanchez and Mr. Centeno, you are suing Ms. Yamini, someone you, Ms. Sanchez, hired as a wedding planner to return your deposit and invite charges because, according to you, you canceled her right away. Tell me what happened.
Yes, everything started February 13 when my man proposed to me. We decided that we wanted to do the wedding as soon as possible. I reached out to Larisha. I liked what I saw on her page, so I text her March 3rd, and she replied to me March 4th, which we text real quick, and then she called me. We was talking about us, woman stuff. She was telling me that her man was about to get deployed. That's why she wasn't on her home. And I tell her how I met my man, how many years we've been together, things like that. Bottom line, that same day, she's telling me about some winter special that I like it and I like the price. So I say I agreed to give her a deposit for decoration, flowers, videography, and photography of $575.
Okay.
We
And that's a
start talking
deposit. How much was the whole thing going to cost?
$2,430.
All right. So the deposit
Without-
was $575.
plus $35 that I sent next day
Okay.
for the invitations.
Okay.
And after that, in the same process, I'm asking her for the contract. I'm asking her that my man wants to know about what is the situation, what she gonna do. But she never able to talk to me because on all this moment she's busy all the time with her kids, busy because her man was about to get deployed. And all of a sudden, in the meantime that I'm talking and texting with her, here at home, we have a little hurricane because we was having, me and my mother-in-law, we was having a little bit of disagreement.
Oh, is that the
So
hurricane you're referring to?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant a real hurricane. All right, go on.
Yeah. So also between me and him, because I'm gonna be honest, Your Honor, I wasn't being clear towards him, because in the first moment he told me like, please don't send no money without no contract. That's why a few times I text her, hey, the contract or the agreement, however you want to call it, but I need that to show to my man, because he's very like perfection, and that caused us a problem, but that's me problem, we text to each other stupidly, and I decided in one moment that I want to cancel, and I believe that it was like fair enough, because not even 24 hours I call her, hey, it's not happening.
Wait, so was the wedding off or just the wedding planner off? Which was it?
No, everything off.
The whole wedding.
I call her, I let her know, hey, I need to speak to you very kindly. And one moment, me and her, we start talking. She get kind of nasty to me.
How?
And she started telling me, oh, I'm not gonna give you your money. That's her money already. that she already sent ordered some lilies, and that she paid for the time for the conversation, when she already told me in a conversation, the first conversation, the woman conversation, that she is not going to charge me because that's something that God put me in her way to. She helped me. She was texting all that stuff and saying everything like that.
So basically what you're telling me is you entered into a verbal agreement with her. You sent her a deposit and you want your deposit back.
Yes.
And your answer to that, Ms. Yamini?
My answer to that is no. Now, what I was agreeing to do, and this is me just being nice, I was agreeing to give her partial back, minus the deposit for the photography and videography, because you had time to actually look over my website, look over my page, see my details, and have that information. That was not up to me. That was up to you. It actually says it on my Facebook page. Like she said, she went on
What
Facebook.
information are you referring to?
On my page itself, it states, one, there is a $50 consultation fee initially. I don't know why she said I said anything about God, because I'm not even religious. I'm not religious. So to even put that into the equation was beyond me. But on my page it states deposits are non-refundable. It's stated on my page. It's stated on my contracts, my agreements, all the time.
We don't have any contracts.
Exactly.
When you say
didn't have a
contracts, yeah, one of the complaints they have is that they didn't get a contract. Of course, she tried to get her money back the next day, so I don't know when she didn't get a contract that quickly. But why didn't you send a contract out that day?
So I was in California with my husband when she contacted me.
Okay.
She knew that. This was discussed. As she stated, yes, my husband is getting deported. He's gone now. So the time that she spent arguing with me, especially the last day, I didn't even get to get a chance with my husband. I was wasting that talking with them. And then on my way back home, she even had the audacity to say, oh, I know you need this money, so you should be why aren't you spending time with your kids? Like, why are you even bringing my children into this conversation whatsoever? This is between me and you. You told me that your husband decided he didn't want to marry you. I have this in statement. I have this in message. I have this all recorded. You stated that he didn't know, he no longer wanted to marry you, and so you guys were canceling your wedding. And I said what? I was willing to give you partial back, but I couldn't give you the full deposit back because what? You won the initial consultation fee to the deposit on the photography and videography, which I feel is very fair. I had others that wanted that date.
Okay.
Period.
Well, here's the thing. Like, everybody gets hung up on, you don't have to prove to me you put a deposit on the photographer or the videographer. You don't have to prove to me you did diddly squat. The issue is it a refundable deposit or is it a non-refundable deposit? She doesn't get to say, oh, I gave you money and I agreed to your terms, but I changed my mind. The issue is it a refundable deposit or a non-refundable deposit? So that's really what I want to focus on, and I want you to look up at what I'm putting on the screen right now. There are two different places where you talk about non-refundable, and they're next to each other. It remains non-refundable past 2 weeks, as I have now began to prepare for your date and have set aside that time. Then right after that it says, deposits are 40% of the overall total and are non-refundable as I begin to gather items as soon as deposit is placed. Most people in your position don't have this cloudy language. Most people in your position just say flat out, deposits are non-refundable. Why are you saying past 2 weeks in the paragraph above?
Because I also offer personalized gifts and favors. I don't just do weddings.
How does that say anything about personalized gifts? It says if you decide to cancel event order, please remember this policy is still in place and order is canceled as soon as notice is given. It remains non-refundable past 2 weeks. Why do you even include this language in here?
Because I've had people that, like she's doing, the next day.
Right, so why don't you just say deposits are non-refundable?
You're right. I should clear that. I should make the clear language with that. Yes, you're right. You are correct.
Okay, but Ms. Sanchez, can I ask you a question? You're a grown adult. Like, if you put a deposit down, you make an agreement with somebody, why should you get your money back?
Well, first of all, Your Honor, I believe that It was not even 24 hours
So
when
what?
I asked for my...
Like, I know, but why not don't put the deposit down? You did take up a bunch of the lady's time. You know, she's holding your hand and pasándote la manito, you know, stroking your hand, calming you down because the stress was so much. You were freaking out. You felt, I've read the text. Then nobody's helping me. But I can only imagine what your mother-in-law and are you still marrying him?
We're married.
Oh, you're married. What your mother-in-law and your husband said that just blew your mind because you were so clearly already stressed. And then she's the one talking you off the ledge. She invested a lot of time in you. Like, why would it be fair that you not pay anything to her?
She was really nice at the beginning. As soon as I asked for my money, she went super nasty. I understand.
No,
that,
that's not true.
but
Stop. That's not true. As soon as she asked for the money, you sent her the money, she did not get super nasty. Every time you say she's super nasty, what you're finding to be super nasty is, no, I won't return your money. That's not super nasty. That's her legal position. This isn't, you know, Walmart. Here, I want to return. Give me my, you know, it's not like that. You know, this is maybe you should be sure before you put your money down. It sounds like you were sure that day because it's like, yeah, I talked to my man. My man said, oh, I can't wait to hear what you are going to add, man. My man, go ahead. Tell me what you're going to add. What happened? If you're authorizing the expenditure,
we watch your show every day, so we already know without one hand goes into the other hand. And I told her that. She watches it every day. We watch you. So I kept on telling her, listen, before you do anything, just remember.
So she shouldn't have sent the money until she got the contract. And she was happy. She wanted to do it herself. Okay, in fairness to her, can I just tell you, she got her to put in the text all of the details.
From you.
Right, but I'm saying, like, you know, like maybe if the argument was over that, maybe you should cut her a little slack because she did say, my man wants all the details, and then boom, 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 all the details, and then the money went. So you would have a very clear proof of what money was paid for, and it couldn't just be stolen from you. I mean, she had taken care of that. Did you end up hiring a different wedding planner?
Yes. Yes.
But after that,
I said, you know what? I'm going to take over.
Because after the
I went and I did everything.
After the argument between me and him, he go and tell me, okay, so call the lady again and let's kind of like do it. And I'm like, I just don't want to do it no more with her. She came rude to me. On the phone, she was super rude to me.
All right.
And after that, I stopped calling. She kept calling me and calling me and calling me. That's when I answer my phone call. She's telling me, it's not my fault that your man doesn't want to marry you. It's not my fault that your man doesn't love you. That's when I text her, wow, you are laughing at my pain, but it's okay, you know.
All right, this is what's going to happen, folks. I have to tell you, Ms. Yamini, I really would like you to change your website right away.
I will do that. I definitely will do that.
Because it is internally inconsistent, makes no sense, and that goes against you when it's confusing as to when the refund is due. I am going to authorize you to keep the $50 for the consultation because you clearly invested a bunch of time with her that first day. But I am going to order you to return the remainder of it only because of the inconsistency in your website. Take out that 2 weeks and just say deposits are non-refundable. And then you're golden. Whether they've signed the contract yet or not, they are supposed to know what's in the website.
Okay. Even once I even would have sent them the agreement, which I sent you a copy of that. I sent you a past agreement.
I'm sure that your agreement says deposits are non-refundable. That's the reason to get the agreement signed, right? Then you'd say, hey, this overrides the website confusion. You got it. You got it. So I'm going to rule in favor of the plaintiffs in the amount of $560. The consultation fee stays with Ms. Yamini, and I wish you all very good luck.
Thank you. We love you, Judge Milian.
Ms. Yamini, what do you think about that? You got to give the bulk of that money back.
I think it's a little unfair. I think I should have at least got to keep the $250 for the photography and videography because I could have had that booked for somebody else.
Well, the judge didn't buy your story. She felt your contract was really not accurate, and they hadn't even seen it at that point. So you got to give $560 back, and that's the decision. Can you live with that?
I have to go ahead with that. Yes.
Yeah, you do. You do. All right, Ms. Sanchez, are you and your man happy? How about that? at this
Yes,
point. You are
we
married now.
But also, she
Very
said that
happy.
she had ordered lilies, and we didn't order no lilies. Lilies are for the dead. We ordered roses.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's a good point. Congratulations. I hope you're happy
Thank
and you live a happy life. Ms.
Thank you.
Sanchez, you and your man. Love the way you
Thank
put it.
you.
Husband.
All right. With
Thank
that,
you.
we'll bring this case to a close. All right, Harvey, what do you think about this?
Doug, I mean, this is something that happens to people all the time. You buy something and you want to return it. Do you automatically have a right to return it? A lot has to do with the policy. When you buy something, you buy something. It doesn't have to be returned. Money is a different situation. This is a case about non-refundability. There is a presumption, unless it's clear that money is non-refundable, then it should be refundable.
I live in a city and people park in front of my home in a no parking zone. Most of the time it does not bother me. When there is a parking ban for snow, it does. One year I ended up sliding into a snow ice pile and damaging my car. The pile would not have been there if the city could have plowed. Could I sue the owner of the car that caused the poor plowing?
Well, the bedrock fundamental rule of our justice system is you could sue anybody for anything.
Anytime.
Right? Anytime. But are you going to succeed here?
Right.
I would say the chances are infinitesimally small that you're going to succeed in that type of lawsuit.
Yeah, how
right?
can, I mean, I think they're non-existent. I'd go further and say they're non-existent.
Okay,
I mean,
non-existent. Well, think about it. The guy parks his car where he shouldn't have parked it. The plow comes along, they're plowing the snow, and they go, we got to skip around that car, and maybe they have a bunch of snow stuck on the front of the plow, and they just bring it around and they shove it in front of the car, and maybe some of it
and
sticks
then that
out.
car leaves, and then the next day you hit the pile, and you'd like to
Right.
Yeah, you're not going to win that lawsuit.
No. You know, when I was a kid back in Buffalo, the plows would come when the snow was really heavy, and if you parked where you weren't supposed to park sometimes, they would just plow right through alongside your car, and the stuff would pile up either over the top of the roof of your car or all up against the side of it,
Good.
where you literally had to get a shovel and dig out to get to your vehicle because
Good, you should have moved your
weren't
car.
supposed
Good,
to
you weren't
put-
supposed to be there.
Right.
There should be a consequence.
Oh boy, there was. Ask me how I know.